I just want to thank everybody for having me here again and welcome you here this afternoon. My topic is mapping tools for landowners, and I'm going to try to give you a 20-minute snippet of sort of what some of the programs I'm talking about and get you maybe thinking about how mapping might fit your needs on your property. And like I said, if you're interested in more, we're going to go in more depth in the breakout session after this. All right, so why would you be interested in mapping? So all of your landowners or land managers, there's a lot of online mapping and spatial resources out there. Whether you're planning, recording information, or monitoring, could be you just want stand boundaries and acres. Maybe you're trying to make professional maps to go with that, or you're trying to track natural resource management. And I'll tell you, we use a lot of these tools at the Dixon Center on a daily. We all get behind the machine, pull it up on Google, pull update on Google Earth and look at it, and that helps us, in my opinion, become better managers. We are able to sit there and talk about what we're going to do and make a better plan because you can see it. Maybe you're not interested in that. Maybe you just want to do property searches. Whether you're looking at tax and appraisal information, maybe you're just trying to find out who your neighboring landowners are and a contact for them. Maybe you're interested in historical information. I'm going to talk about a couple of different options for historical aerial photos, land patents, old surveying notes. And then sort of the one thing I want you to think about as we talk about these resources that are out there, I want you to think about data management, how you can keep records, both digitally and on paper, and how you can share the information. Because that's one of the things I think gets lost with a lot of these resources that are out there is they give you the ability to be able to share information easily. And again, I think that makes us better managers. So the technology is out there and available. You've heard some talks about some options today, and I hope I'm going to tell you some more. Whether you're on just a desktop computer or a smart device, you can do everything from basic navigation to finding stand locations, do your planning and conducting of your management, whether you're doing a prescribed burn, maybe you're planting an area, maybe you've gone in and pushed an area out that you're going to do something with a dozer. You can track anything like that on the ground. And this gives you the ability to be able to share and store that information somewhere, either digitally and or on paper, and that helps you be able to get it out to other people. These tools are often, everything I'm going to talk to you about today is online and free. You still have to do subjects and terms, and you have to go through and download a program and agree to things, and that's between you and the company, but it is a free version of the software. And for me, thinking about, I came in, Mr. Lee got me to come in probably 10 years ago. I'm thinking how much my life has changed, and the phone that I have on the table, so it doesn't do interference, how much that's changed in the last 10 years. And so we'll talk about that as we go along. All right, so people say mapping. Well, mapping can mean a lot of different things. So what I want you to do is, you're here listening to me talk about mapping opportunities. What would you like to map on your property that you don't have, or something you'd like to update? Is it the property boundary? Is it timber stands or burn units? Are you trying to get a better idea of your roads? You want to know where the gates are on your property and be able to show it on a map. Streamside management zones, stream crossings, where you have logging decks, where you've had previous logging, or where you would plan to put a logging deck. When you look at your property and the stands, through that aerial imagery, gives you a better way to figure out maybe where you want to put a deck and be able to work with a consultant forester or a logger. Smoke sensitive areas, if you're into burning, what are those around you? It's a great way to check that out. Wildlife food plots, either mapping where you have them or where you would like to put them in. Pastures, ag leases, hunting leases, whether you're doing agroforestry, silvopasture, any kind of planning and management. Maybe that doesn't catch what you need. Maybe something will pop in your mind as you go away or go along with this. Please tell me if I can add to the list. I tell our students that come through Auburn, and whether you're a landowner or land manager, I think the basic types of maps that you need for your property, you need some version of a stand map if you're managing timber. You need area photography as a background, topographic, and your soils information. That gives you an idea of what's out there and helps you be able to plan your management better. And so that's the basic resources I think everybody needs to have on their property. So today we're going to talk about publicly available mapping tools to solve those problems, to get you those resources in hand. Again, computers, tablets, phones, smart devices. You can work across many platforms and different tools. tools. The topics today are Google Earth Pro. When I was here before, we only talked Google Earth. Pro was a cost. Pro is now free. And so you're able to get in and access Pro. So Google Earth Pro, the NRCS Web Soil Survey. If you're ever interested in soils information, you cannot miss that one. That is a great source of information. For property searches and information, Flagship GIS or Alabama GIS is a way to tap into that for the counties that are available. If you're interested in historical information, the University of Alabama has a historic aerial photo archive, and I'll show you some parts of that. If you're interested in land patents or history about the property, like who was the first landowner, you can track that back down through the Bureau of Land Management, General Land Office records. And the last one I'll talk briefly about is Avenza Maps, and they have a free version and some subscription versions. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in the breakout, but it's a pretty cool app as well. So Google Earth Pro, it's an online application, but it can also work on mobile platforms. I put everything up as a link, but links change so much. Keywords, you just type in Google Earth Pro and you'll be able to pull up something. It does require downloading and accepting terms and conditions, which is between you and Google. So how many of you have ever used Google Earth for directions? All right, a lot of folks. Did you know you can store points, lines, and areas in it? How many of you have ever used it beyond directions? See, a lot of hands drop off. Some out there though. All right, so you can actually store spatial data in Google Earth. And so you can store your points, lines, areas, and description information with it. That's an example 42-acre stand on the Dixon Center I mapped out. You can go in, you can measure distances and acreages, save those. If you create a boundary, you can save it. And then that's a polygon. You can put in description information. That's a mixed pine stand, thinned in 2012 and burned, last year. And you can put all that in there and store it. And then you can right-click in Google Earth and email it to somebody else, the whole thing. And then they can put notes on it and send it back. So a great way. You can also print professional maps. So it's a great way to store digital, and you can print the maps for the paper copy and be able to share it with other people. You can go as far as building a whole database and add as many points, lines, and areas as you would like. I threw one up. I put maps in for food plots. The points you can easily put labels on. They can be used as labels. You get coordinates with them. You can share those coordinates or share the points themselves. You can put in, again, pretty much anything you want. You could even simulate a burn if you want to see where you thought you might put in your lines. So plenty of things you can do out there with it. And then you can create a professional map. You can pop that out as a JPEG. They can go easily in a PowerPoint presentation or email. You can put it in a PDF and put it with another package of your management plan. Professional map, it's got title, north arrow, legend, scale bar, all that good stuff. So there's a variety of options of what you can do with it as much as as far as you want to take it. There are free and subscription levels of other data that's out there. I'm going to show in my breakout how you can get soils data, topographic data, and parcel data. More of section, township, and range, not down to the true ownership. I'll show you another option for that. I couldn't find a free version for that, but there are subscription versions where you can pull the true parcel data in. The files for the points, lines, and areas are KMZs and KMLs. That's just the file type. Those are what you can email back and forth. If you got anybody that works with ArcGIS or something a little bit more sophisticated, those can be converted. Make sure you save often and keep records of everything and where you placed it. That really can be one of the biggest things. And then again, don't forget to share it, because that's what the cool part is. So the next one, how many of you have ever used the NRCS Web Soil Survey? We got a few out there. If you're interested in soils data, this is a one-stop shop plus. And so it's USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service and NRCS Web Soil Survey. If you just type in USDA, NRCS World Web Soil Survey, those are the keywords, this thing will pop up. And so the link is up there, but the keywords are the easiest way to get it. So, oops, I jumped ahead, folks. There we go. So you can locate a piece of property or an area of interest, highlight it. You can either do a straight up polygon or like a rectangular square, or you can click around and do it however you want. If you get it too small, it will actually tell you you're outside the data limits. It'll tell you need something bigger, so you have to adjust for that. And the other cool thing is it will go across county lines. So I've got an example I'll show you in the breakout. I hit 3 different counties. And it'll tell you, you go county to county, it may vary, but it gives you all these warnings and information. But you create the boundary of what you're interested in looking at. You can display soil information with air photography behind it, topographic behind it, or you can turn it all off and just have the basic area or stands that you highlighted. That's pretty cool. So you can get all the maps I talked about in one shot. All those can be created as PDFs. You can print them, you can share them, email them, do whatever you want. You can also get basic soil reports, either basic or detailed. You can go into Soil Data Explorer and look at suitabilities and limitations, maybe for a log deck or for erosion, or what are some site indexes for that are in the database for this piece of property you're working on. A lot of cool information at the tips of your fingertips. So again, those are some example professional maps. Again, professional maps. Title that you get to enter, north arrow, scale bar, legend, very detailed. And again, you can even print the full-blown soils report that goes with it. It gets all your soil type information. And again, you can explore all those different options. So some of you might be interested in property searches and historical information. I know I am. And so I found a couple of these. My go-to resource is the Alabama GIS, which taps into Flagship. And so you can use it on the PC, or there are mobile options. There are free and subscription levels. I only use the free levels. And any of those keywords will get you in. You can locate a piece of property, your piece of property. You can pull up the neighbors all around, and generally you can track them down, at least find out who the taxpayer is. Sometimes it's not the complete page of who owns it, but it gets you in the right place. That's what we tell our students to go through. If you give me a set of coordinates, section, township, and range, or just an address, I can sit down and pull up and tell you who paid the taxes last year, and here's their email, but their address to be able to contact them. You can get a deed book page number to go to the courthouse and pull up the deed and see who the actual owners are. So it's really, really cool resource. You can also, it has the ability, you can do professional maps with it. You've got air photography, you've got soils. You can actually get into the layers and turn on terrain and topo. So here, yet again, you can get all of your, what I think are your needed maps in one place. And it goes farther than just that. You can get into information about the parcel, the tax appraisal, and things like that. So you can create a property record card and take a look at more information that's in the tax database about the property. And this is what it looks like. As you zoom around, those are the different layers that you can turn on and off, and it's going to vary county to county. I don't think all the counties in the state are out there, but a good bit of them are. And it's a really cool resource to tap into. So again, as you zoom in, you've got all your tools, and you click on the parcel, and you can even search. You can search if you wanted to know every parcel in that county that is between 40 acres and 200 acres, or 200 acres and 300 acres. You can do those searches, and I think that's some of the cool parts about it. So historical photos, I was getting there on that. So I work at the Dixon Center. Dixon Center was donated to Auburn in '78 with construction in '79. A lot of history there. So we're out managing stands and we look at it, it's like, why does this look like this? And we've got some history, but if you go pull up these older photos and say, okay, in 1957 there was a house there. And so this is an option to be able to do that. This is the University of Alabama Historical Aerial Photo Archive. Again, free to get on and check out. It pulls up every state in the county. As you hover over it, you get to see a mosaic for the county. And so as you go in, within the county, you can either get the county mosaic, or you can go in and they've got it broken down into local areas. Click on those and it shows you the range of the air photography in that area. I pulled up the Dixon Center from the 50s. This is an area that's an old pecan orchard. And that pecan orchard was wiped out in Hurricane, Opal in the 90s. And so now it's all in pine plantations. But again, to be able to look at it like that, I actually have our students pull that up and do the photo interpretation to be able to see that. You can pick it up on the topo maps as well from the 70s. But for this one, again, if you type in University of Alabama Historic Photo Archive, pop it up. You can look and view these photographs, and then if you're interested, you can actually, go into Google Earth, get your coordinates for your property, get bounding coordinates, send it to them with a form and say, hey, this is the area I'm looking at, and they'll send back the coverage and the number of years that they have. And so you could actually go in and create a timeline for your property if that's something you're interested in. This one, and after I started doing this type of work, I had a landowner that's really into this stuff, and he's like, have you ever heard of this, John? And it's the actual land patent. So this is the U.S. Department of Interior, Bureau of Land Management, General Land Office records. So you're tapping into the land patents. And so when the land transferred from the government to the private landowner, and you can put in land patent search, so you can search actual land patents, you can do survey plats and field notes, land status records, there's a land catalog, there's all kind of things you can explore on this thing. My example was to pull up, so I pulled up for the Dixon Center, which is where I work. It's outside of Andalusia. And this was the land patent of Wiley B. Dixon in, September 1st, 1858. Shows his signature and shows the whole document. And you're able to print that out for free as a PDF or save it on your machine. So if you're ever interested for, the family farm or whatever, and you want to track it that far back, you can do that. I think that's a cool resource. So Avenza Maps, it's hard to do a presentation talking about online and free apps and maps without talking about it. It's something that we picked up a few years back and started using, and we use it quite extensively now. If you just type in Avenza, A-V-E-N-Z-A Maps, you can generally get it to pull up. It's an app for smartphones and smart devices. And so you can store 3 maps for free. Now they have subscription levels to go well beyond that, has more bells and whistles. I tell everybody mapping products are like guns and golf clubs and pool cues. You can spend as much as you want on them and keep going up. But this one does pretty cool. The cool thing is once you get the map on there, maps just got to be a geo-rectified PDF. Then you walk into the woods. Where we are at the Dixon Center, we have no service. We walk out in the middle of nowhere. As long as it's got power, it works, and then it pulls up and shows you where you are. If you come to my breakout, I did a quick aerial photo for here, and it'll actually pop up. So I mapped the road coming in, I mapped a point for the car, and put a point for the lookout up here. And so you can see how that works. But it's pretty cool. So you can, again, record and share points, lines, and areas. You can navigate with a built-in compass. A lot of times, like if we're doing invasive species work, I'll lay out all the plots for our coving grass. Hopefully this far north you don't have it, but in South Alabama we do. And so send them out to our guys. You can email them PDFs, they bring them in. If they have too many in their free version, they wipe one out, bring another one in. You can actually toggle between active and inactive maps and turn it to the compass. It actually turns the whole map to the way you're looking, and off you go. It's a really cool thing, and then they can drop points and send them back to me. They'll pop straight up in Google Earth. So pretty cool operation. Again, you can get your coordinates. Somebody was asking me today, the U.S. Forest Service was visiting, and they do degrees and decimal minutes. And so I had mine set up for decimal degrees. I've also set it up for UTM. You have the options in this program, and most every other one I've talked about to be able to change your coordinates. If you want coordinates in degrees, minutes, seconds, or UTM, if that means anything to you, you have options in these programs to be able to do this. So, I probably just talked about a lot of different things. Some you may have heard of, some you haven't. Hopefully what I'm getting you to think about, there are numerous options out there for you to be able to plan for the future, track current events, and record history. And there's a lot of cool, I want you to research the tools, check out the opportunities, the limitations and the strengths that go with them, and see if they match what you need. I'm not advocating any of them. I want to give you tools to throw in your toolbox, and if you find something you like to use, go for it. And so spend time early in the process and figure out what you really want to do, how you want to use these tools, and how you want to track your information, digital and paper. I like both, I'll be honest. The cool thing is you can run various scenarios and try different things. Digital stuff, you delete one, you create another one. Pretty cool stuff. Keep in mind, and this is something I think that's missed so much, is you have the ability to archive this information and share it with other people in a couple of different forms depending on how they work with information. And that's what I think is cool about it, and that's what I think is so important about where we are in the age of technology. That brings me then to my time. We're pretty close at it. I'll be glad to take any questions. And if you're interested, the breakout would be great. Well, thank you very much.